Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, I'm sure you know that this is my series in which I'm diving in deep into a beautiful deck called the Egyptian Tarot by C.C. Zane. And just in case you are a new person to this wonderful series, let me give you a quick overview of what I'm doing here. So every day, before I go to sleep, I pull out my colored version of the Egyptian Tarot. I pull out my colored version because it's a mass market deck and it is readily available and I don't feel uncomfortable about riffle shuffling it. So I pull out my colored version of the Egyptian Tarot, I shuffle and I draw a card. And then I pull the same card from my older, very, very out of print copy of the Egyptian Tarot. And then I look at those two cards to see what my day ahead will be. And because this is a new deck and because I enjoy doing, having a companion deck, a helper deck when I do a deep dive, I've got my companion deck all picked out. It is the Tarot of the Holy Light by the beautiful Christine Payne-Towler. And so I do a 3-card draw from that deck because I'm a little bit more familiar with that one. I've been working with it for quite a while. So I do a 3-card draw and it's a standard draw. Yeah. First card is the energy, the situation. The second card is the challenge. Instead of obstacle, I went for challenge in this series. And then the third card is advice or outcome. So a typical 3-card draw. So, and then I live my day, and then I come back to you at the end of the day, and I review what the cards meant to me, how their meanings revealed themselves to me during the day, or did not reveal themselves to me during the day. And so I record a video, and here we are. So friends, let me show you the draw, the card for the day. Here it is. So you just saw the very beautifully drawn Queen of Cups, right? Now, let me tell you, when I saw this card the first time, when I pulled it out, I thought it was the Queen of Swords. I don't know if that confused you at all. Why did I think it was the Queen of Swords? Because right down here at the foot, it's easier to see in the color version. Now, right down at the foot of the Queen, there's this curved thing that I thought was a scimitar, a large sword. So I thought, this must be the Queen of Swords. But it's not. It's the Queen of Cups. You can see right down here, the cup, the heart. It's the Queen of Cups. So let me show you these cards side by side. Once more. This is a beautiful image. And you can see Scorpio, the constellation of Scorpio on both of these cards pretty clearly, I think. And this is a lovely Queen of Cups. And guess what the association for this card is? Yes, you guessed it. It is Scorpio. Scorpio. In case you didn't know, my my ascendant sign is Scorpio. But when I think of Scorpios, I think of my grandmother. My grandmother was a consummate Scorpio in my book. And so when I see this Queen of Cups, I think of her. So my card for the day, the theme for the day, the direction of the day, for me, we assume is going to be the Queen of Cups, Scorpio. And what is Scorpio? The Queen of Cups points to Scorpio, which has the fixed water vital attributes and enters the world through that constellation. Scorpio is fixed water, right? And when I think of fixed water, I think of a diamond. Or I think of water that is hardened to a crystal, not by cold, but rather by pressure. By the pressure of of experience, by the pressure of the universe, by the pressure of the same pressure that creates diamonds, right? The water is crystallized by pressure. And so who is the Queen of Cups for us, and particularly for me in this beautiful day? This is a lovely, lovely, lovely card. Do you see the eagles down at the bottom? Did you see the eagles? It's easier to see in the color card, the colored version of the card. The eagle's down here at the bottom. Now the eagle is one of the symbolic elements, symbolic animals for the sign of Scorpio, right? Again, lovely card. And what does it mean? It means ideas and resources. Yeah, Scorpios have a lot of ideas and they are resourceful. Scorpios are natural healers. My grandmother was a natural healer. But they're not the natural healer necessarily of the soft, warm, fuzzy quality. They're the natural healer of get in there and fix it, kind of. Yeah, you're going to lie down and you're going to take your medicine. That kind of active, laser focused healer is what I think of when I think of Scorpio. That the focus of a raptor, the kind of a bird, a raptor, right? Now, a Scorpio can do anything that they really want to do. They have complex personalities and they have very varied talents. They can do a lot of things. And they take an active interest in people and their interests. And sometimes their interests in other people can freak other people out. Their intensity can freak other people out. And their intensity, while it's deeply, deeply interested and want to discern, to feel what's going on, they can seem cold, they can seem calculating, and they can seem unsympathetic when they really, really aren't. It's just they're so laser focused in their fixed energy, right? And sometimes they can be overbearing, sometimes they can be overpowering. They can be insistent that others conduct themselves in the way that a Scorpio knows they should be conducted. They should be conducting themselves. They should be conducting themselves in the proper manner according to the Scorpio. And that is my grandmother all over. And so that is my energy for the day, which actually I don't mind so much. Because like I said, I've got very good associations with Scorpios and my grandmother, and I was very proud to have Scorpio as my ascendant sign. Even though there are other aspects of Scorpio. A lot of people associate Scorpio with death and the cutting off of things. But Scorpio, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And the planet that is associated with Scorpio for me is Mars. Now, Scorpio can be associated with other planets as well. If you take into the 9-planet, if we pull in Pluto, if we pull in Uranus, if we pull in Neptune, yeah, Scorpio would be Pluto. Pluto, the god of the underworld, right? But I prefer Mars. I prefer Mars on the dry path, the ascending path of rising back to integration with the divine. So that's what my day was supposed to be. And so what I wanted a little help with that. Now I wanted a little help unpacking that. Well, how would that reveal itself for me? Or how do I want to use that focus in my day? So I did my 3-card pull. Let me show them to you right now. Welcome back. Now, if you've been with me for the last couple of days, you've seen that there have been a lot of swords and cups circulating in my daily draws, and today is no different, right? We started off with the Queen of Cups, and now for the 3-card pull, what did we get? We got the Knight of Swords reversed, and then we got the 6 of Swords upright, and then we got the 10 of Cups. So including the Queen of Cups, we had 2 cups and 2 swords, air and heart. Well, Yes, air and heart. Because I stopped for a second because in this deck, swords are earth. But in this deck, swords are air, just like we expect. So there we are. So yes, the Knight of Swords is the first card. This is the energy, the significance for the Queen of Cups for me today. And what is the Knight of Swords? Now, the Knight of Swords is points to Gemini, from which these mutable air attributes enter our world. Yeah, Gemini is a mutable air sign. And the planet for Gemini is, and it's right down, oh, I'm sorry, I was showing you the cut. I'm sorry. The planet for Gemini is Mercury, right? Yes, Mercury. So we've got Mercury here. And let me show it to you upright, because we've got this beautiful, beautiful figure of the knight holding a raptor with a sword pointing off to the side, powerful hair, the bright yellow hair. It's a lovely card. We got the moon below. We've got the sea, the eye of the divine above. Lovely card. So the Knight of Swords, who is this person? This person is potentially easily slighted. Yeah? Well, okay, so when in reverse, this knight is potentially easily slighted. He can take things the wrong way and overreact. When he's feeling insecure, he'll look for someone to blame for his mood. He'll figure out who is the culprit for my feeling this way. And sometimes once he's focused on somebody, he will bait that person so that they prove to him that he was right, that they are messing up his jam, his vibe, that they're messing up his life he's going to make them show it to him. Yeah, he push their buttons and he'll reveal that they really are the culprits in his drama. And it doesn't stop at that. This knight will also self-righteously undertake the task of correcting the other person. They'll correct the offender, and they will do it in a way that can really destroy, well, not necessarily destroy, but damage relationships. Even if they really had a good point to make when talking to the other person, when convincing the other person, when correcting the other person, their method of doing it is such that relationships can be damaged. The Knight of Swords in reverse, therefore, will start feeling misunderstood. Will start feeling like a scapegoat, like everybody. Nobody gets me. Everybody's picking on me. And it will be difficult for this knight to recover from that. And it will take this knight perhaps a very, very long time before he realizes that what he's feeling from the environment is 99.999% his projection. Now, what he is seeing is his own qualities reflected back to him. So, this Knight of Swords in reverse is a cautionary tale, particularly for me, because I can sometimes go into this sphere if I'm not careful. I can be the righteously wounded one if I'm not careful. And so this is a good warning sign for me, a good thing. Be careful, especially, well, you'll find out why in just a little bit. So this card, and then right next to it, this card. And this card, I almost laughed. Well, I did laugh. I laughed when this card appeared, the Six of Swords upright. And what is this? Yeah? The Six of Swords points to the Aquarius decadent of Aquarius. It's Aquarius of Aquarius. And its subruler Saturn, or Uranus, depending on the way you associate planets, from which the fixed aspect of fixed air attributes enter our world. So we got fixed air of fixed air. Just like we got the fixed water here, we got fixed air. And what is this? So air, thought, communication, fixed, solid, clear, crystal. Often, what do we think of when we think of the Six of Swords? When we think of the one drawn by Pamela Coleman Smith, for example, in the Waite Smith deck, we think of the journey, leaving choppy waters and heading out for smoother sailing, for calmer waters, leaving behind painful situations, leaving behind the things that have been damaging to us in the Five of Swords, which was a heightened conflict, right? Leave that behind and move on. And we have help moving on. And in this card, what do we see? We see the Six Swords, and we see the ship sailing out from a protected cove into the open water. So the Six of Swords card is often also called the Science card. So we have special knowledge here. Now, the Six of Swords is special knowledge. It's the gift of both literacy and numeracy, whatever your jam is. It could be either. Whether you're good with numbers, or you're good with words, or you're good with both, this is a card of that. That special knowledge, that clear ability to think, to reason, to calculate, to express. It's also finding our course, yeah? We've got the ability to navigate. But we still might want to consider whether this is the right time to sail or not. We want to be sure that we found our guiding star, and that guiding star is telling us that it is now the time to move on. It's now time to sail out from our protected cove into the open waters. We have guidance available to us, always and at all times. We just want to be open and ready for it. And this is a particularly meaningful card in that challenge space, because my challenge for the day was travel. And we'll get there in just a moment. But before we get there, the next card was the Ten of Cups. I'm sorry, the Ten of Cups, right, Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups showed up for me just a little while ago, a few days ago, at the beginning of this deep dive, in reverse. But in reverse and upright, the meanings are very similar, right? We've got another ship here. We've got a ship. We could consider to be like Noah's Ark. Now we've got the Noah's Ark sailing on the water. The Ark is lashed to, their anchor has been tossed up to the cross, which is being borne aloft by the Holy Spirit, by Sophia, the divine wisdom. So we've got the suffering that we've experienced lifted up by the dove of the Holy Spirit of Sophia, and we have latched our ship onto that. So the Ten of Cups, it points to Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We've got all three water signs in this card, which are the both cardinal, fixed, and mutable energies of water, all combined. So a lot of potential. And this card is that we are pregnant with promise, but that promise may not quite be ready to be born. But we're preparing for our rebirth, for getting ready to leave Noah's Ark and walk out on dry land. And it's close and very close, but it's not quite there yet. And the cross raised by Sophia, it's our soul. We've latched onto our soul, our anima, and we anchor our soul to self and realize the potential of the rainbow behind. We have the star of the alchemical prima materia, that primal material from which we will be able to create. We will be able to make gold. We have the possibility for perfection, but we're not quite there yet. We're closer than we were when it was reversed, I believe, but still, we're not quite there yet. So what does this all mean? Now, remember, we started off with the Queen of Swords. This Queen of Swords, not the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups. I keep seeing that sword down there. The Queen of Cups. Scorpio. A lot of talent, a lot of ability, but we want to be careful of the dark side of Scorpio, of being too intense and being too critical, right? And then we move into the Page of Swords, which kind of the Knight of Swords reversed, which kind of echoes that warning of be careful of being too sensitive and being too critical. Be careful of becoming the wounded one, right? Be careful of projecting out your feelings of being a scapegoat, of being the misunderstood one. And still, because the challenge for today is to move out into the greater world and to use that knowledge, the talent that we have, which was also indicated in the Queen of Cups. Whether it's literacy, it's numeracy, or any of the potential very clever, smart talents that we have in the Six of Swords. And to remember that, yeah, we're not, even at the end of the day, we will not be there yet, but if we do it, if we go through the day well, we'll get closer. We're getting closer to the shore. Our potential is ready to be revealed. We're ready to have to make use of our potential, for the potential to blossom forth like a rose blooming. With under the eye of the divine, right? Under the eye of the divine who weeps for the suffering that we have gone through. The eye of the divine is right there in the Ten of Cups. So what does this mean for me today? Today was not necessarily as dramatic as that, but today was a day of travel for me. Yeah, I left early in the morning, and it wasn't early in the morning. It was like 11 o'clock. So I left late in the morning, and I came not so far away, but far enough away from home that I wouldn't be commuting every day. We packed up our car and we drove to the other side of a small country, and I'm here in a place called Gangwon-do, in a very snowy area. Apparently it's snowing outside right now, but today was a day of travel. And not traveling alone. I was traveling with two co-workers. Very, very, I'm blessed with the people I was traveling with. I'm blessed to be sharing a room with one of them. And so all of those were wonderful. And it was the day rife with the beginning of the potential for the rest of the course of this winter camp that I'm here to teach. So I realized and I knew that I wanted to be careful of my potential sensitivity, of my potential reactivity. And I think I did a good job of that. Even when I realized another time today that I really, I'm being super hypercritical. I messed up a little bit. I brought a whole big bag of coffee beans to make coffee here. I brought my drip coffee maker. It's just a little ceramic thing that you put a filter in. I've got my gold-plated filter, so I don't need to use paper to make the coffee. I brought my insulated mug, and I brought plenty of beans to share with my apartment mate, and it was all wonderful. And I got here and I realized that I left the grinder at home. I left the coffee grinder at home. So I'm probably going to go out and buy a second coffee grinder, which is kind of a pain which is disappointing. It's disappointing. I felt very disappointed in myself. But again, like I said, I didn't want to be hypercritical of others or myself, really. And when we realized other things had gone akimbo, gone awry a little bit, I remembered the Knight of Swords in reverse, and I thought, no, there is no ultimately right way for things to go that is different from the way things are going right now. You know? This is a time for accepting and owning and thriving in the moment as it is. Whatever is going on is the perfect thing because of this card. And knowing that I and we are moving into the potential and through the potential and meeting the potential of this card. Does that make sense? Was that coherent? I hope so. If it was, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. What do you think? Does that make sense? Does it not make sense? If it doesn't make sense, tell me and I'll figure out a way for it to make sense the next time. If you're still here, hit the thumbs up button so that YouTube knows that you got something out of it and other people might get something out of it, and it might draw more people to the channel, more eyes to the channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the alarm bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. I'm trying to do one a day. We'll see. I'm at the apartment that I'm going to be staying in. I will probably try and find a light so I can videotape from my bedroom tomorrow and thereon. But yeah, this is a good place. I'm really happy where I am, and I hope that you are happy where you are. And if you want a reading from me, my email address is below. Shoot me an email, say, I want a reading from you, and I will give you a reading, whatever kind of reading you want. And there we are. There you have it. If you're interested in either of these decks, the color version of the tarot, the Egyptian tarot, and the beautiful Tarot of the Holy Light, if you're interested in either or both of these decks, there are links below for you to go and check them out. So friends, thank you for joining me and continuing me on this journey. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.